Turn on the videos, Fena. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Gaurav. Hare Krishna Satvik. Hare Krishna Kritika. Let's wait. Let's see if someone else joins. Right? Turn your videos on.
1 minute.
Okay. Very good. Let's wait for 2 minutes and then we'll start. Okay. Okay, let's start, Kana. Okay, we'll say Guru Shlokam first. Shruti, Smriti, Puranam, Alayam, Karunalayam, Namami, Bhagavad Shankaram, Lokashankaram, Nityam, Achyuta Padambuja, Yugma Rukma, Yamohatas, Nani, Himaya Mene, Asmat, Bhagavatusya, Sindho, रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये रामानुज दयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यं वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, very good. So now, Kritika, last class you learned that song Jaya Jaya Devano. Will you sing that song for Gaurav and Satvik and Danya?
Mataji, you kept that
Tumakchalat Mataji.
recording. Sorry, notes, Mataji.
I gave the recording, na? It was not in that recording? Or maybe the recording started only after 30 minutes. Okay, fine. I'll teach you again today and you people can learn. Okay? I'll get my notebook. I've also recorded that song individually, Kana. That also I will send you. You can refer to that. Right? I'll sing and you can repeat now. Right? Jaya Jaya Deva.
Jaya Jaya Deva.
Jaya Jaya Deva.
Jaya Jaya Deva.
Jaya Jagannatha.
Jaya
Jagatsuda.
Jal Jalochana.
Saralochana.
Jal Jalochana.
Jalalochana.
Jaya Janardana.
Jaya Janardana.
Devaki Bala.
Devaki Bala.
Deenavatsala.
Mataji,
Haan.
your voice is breaking.
Oh, 1 minute. Devaki Bhala. Better now?
Devaki Bala.
Deenavatsala.
दीनवत्सला
देवपालका
देवपालका
दानवान्तका
दानवासका
नन्दकुमारा
नंदकुमारा
नवनीतचोरा
नवनीतचोरा
नीरदवर्णा
माताजी
नीरगवर्णा
निर्मलाकरा
निर्मलाकरा
प्रणतरक्षका
रणतरक्षका
प्रेमिकाचिता
प्रेमिकार्चिता
पद्मसम्भवा
पद्मसंभवा
प्रमुखपूजिता
प्रमुख पूजिता
we are just praising Krishna in this bhajan. That's what we are doing. You already know all the names of Krishna, right? So what is this is a song that comes in the Govinda Shatakam, which is written by Adi Shankaracharya, right?
अच्युताष्टकम
So Achyutastakam is also written by Adi Shankaracharya. So here he's saying Jaya Jaya Deva. In Marathi, no, in Maharashtra, see, what do you call Bhagavan in Tamil? Sami. This is Sami, right? Sami comes from Swami. Swami has become Sami in Tamil. Umachi. You should say it. Just small kids say Umachi. So there might be some other Devuda and all that we say, right? Which means Bhagavan, right? So in Marathi, right, they say Deva. Deva means Bhagavan. So whoever is Bhagavan, for example, someone says, Hey Deva, for them, their Ishta Devata might be Ganesha. So Deva refers to Ganesha there. Someone if says Hey Deva and their Shiva devotee, Deva refers to Shiva there. Here, Adi Shankaracharya is singing on Jagannatha. So Jagannatha is our Krishna, right? Where is he called as Jagannatha? Do you remember?
Puri
Puri. Very good.
Orissa
Where is Puri? Odisha. Excellent. Very good. So in Puri, Odisha, he's Jagannatha. So he's singing Jaya Jaya Deva. Who is Deva here? Krishna is Deva. Jaya Jagannatha, Jala Jalochana, Jaya Janardana, Devaki Bala, Deenavatsala. Simple words like Devaki Bala, you are the son of Devaki. Nanda Kumara, you are the Kumara, son of Nanda. Simple words. All these are names of Krishna. Deenavatsala, who helps people in need, right? Deenavatsala. Devapalaka, Dhanavantaka, Dhanam means Rakshasas, demons. Dhanavantaka means one who kills the demons. Right? Jaya Jaya Deva, Jaya Jagannatha, Jala Jalochana, Jaya Janardana, Devaki Bala, Deevavatsala. देवपालका दानवान्तका नन्दकुमारा नवनीतचोरा नीरदवर्णा निर्मलाकरा प्रणतरक्षका प्रेमिकार्चिता पद्मसम्भव प्रमुखपूजिता. Say your mom is you know கொஞ்சறா உங்க அம்மா வந்து உன்னை கொஞ்சறா she's loving you a lot, right? How will she show her love? She'll call you hey chellam tangam and all that she calls you, right? In Tamil she my sweetheart, my little pie, like that parents show their love to you. Similarly, how do you show your love to Krishna? Krishna has so many names. He has 1,000 plus names, right? So you call him hey Madhava, hey Keshava, hey Govinda, hey Narayana. That is how you love him, right? You call him by all his names and you enjoy the sweetness in that name. So that's what we see in so many bhajans, right? Nama Sankirtanam. Do you know one story on why Nama is more important than even Bhagavan himself? So I'll ask you one question. Gaurav, Satvik, and Kritika, and Danya. The question is, it's like a multiple choice question. What do you think is more powerful, Rama or the name of Rama? What do you think?
Name of Rama.
Rama.
Name
Rama.
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 Okay. What's Satvik's answer?
Rama.
Rama. Okay. Danya's answer. Rama. Okay. There is a story. Now, what happens is, I forgot exactly what was the name of that king. Okay. But he had committed some mistake, and because of that, one rishi had requested Rama to punish the king by killing him. So Rama, because Rishi has very politely requested Rama to do this, and it's also Rama was a king, so it was his dharma, his duty to take care that people who do mistakes are punished so that it doesn't happen again. People who are bad, who are causing illness to the society, they have to be punished in a certain way. That's what our law also does, right? Today we have courts, we have judges, we have police. They all are bound to do this task. We are in Kali Yuga, so we don't know how many of them are doing their task very properly or punishing the people. And, see, sometimes punishment is essential to make someone, um, correct someone and make them divert to the right path, right? So when you do something wrong at home, your mom or dad punishes you, right? Some small things. So similarly, so Rama being very obedient to all the rishis and being a good king who has to protect the dharma, he ran behind this particular king who committed the mistake, and he wanted to punish him. Now, what this wise king did, he ran fast. Rama is trying to catch him to punish him, and he ran fast ahead and he went to Hanuman. He went to Anjaneya and he pleaded Anjaneya that Swami, please. He didn't tell Anjaneya or Hanuman that Rama is behind him and Rama is coming to punish him. He didn't say that. He just said, hey Anjaneya, I'm a Rama Bhakta, so you protect me and I'll take the Ramanama. So anyone who takes the Ramanama, Anjaneya comes running to protect that particular person. So if you take Ramanama, I don't know if Rama will come or not. It might take some time for Rama to come, but Anjaneya Swami comes right. When you take Ra, Anjaneya Swami comes near you in the expectation that you will take the next letter will be Ma. So when you say Ra, he comes running. Okay. So that's how that because that's how much Anjaneya Swami loves Rama, right? He himself takes Ramanama. What did we learn? What does Shiva himself say in Vishnu Sahasranamam, right? Ishwaro vacha Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. We saw this, right? Right in the Ramanavami class, we saw this. So, uh, Anjaneya Swami is so fond of Rama and his Ramanamam that when you say Ra, he comes running to help you. Now, this king who has committed the mistake, he has taken Sharanagati under Anjaneya Swami, and Anjaneya Swami has promised him that I will protect him. Now, Anjaneya Swami is not aware that Rama is the one who's coming to punish this king. He is not aware. So he promised that king who has committed the mistake, saying that, okay, I will protect you. Now, Anjaneya Swami is trying to protect the king, and then Anjaneya Swami sees that Rama is the one who has come. And Rama says, hey, Hanuman, leave that guy to me because he has committed a mistake. I have to punish him. Now, what will Anjaneya Swami do? He's caught in a very big problem because on one side, there is Rama himself who is Anjaneya Swami's Swami, right? And on the other side, he has given a promise to the king that I'll protect you. So, the quality of a good king, or not only a king, any good person is that if someone comes to you and does a Sharanagati or requests you to protect them and you give a promise, see, first thing, you should protect only people who are, who live according to Dharma. If someone does other big things, no, you should not protect them or you should not support them. You should support only people who does dharmic things. Now, but Anjaneya Swami unfortunately didn't know all these. So he gave the promise that I will protect you. If you give a promise, you should stand by it, right? How is Anjaneya Swami's Bhagwan is Rama? How is Rama? Rama has set an example, right? Even if a thought pricks the foot of Rama, he doesn't remove the thorn because he says, this thorn has taken Sharanagati in my foot. So I'll not leave aside it, I'll still protect it. Just a representation, right? Okay, so first, okay, let me make one thing very clear. All the stories that I'm saying, right? Because you're children, I'm saying it in a form of a story so that it gets recorded in your mind. Every story is a symbolization, right? So when they say that Rama, when a thorn pricks Rama and Rama doesn't remove it because anyone who does Sharanagati to Rama, Rama protects him. It doesn't mean that Rama doesn't remove the thorns from his leg at all and his leg is full of thorns. It's not like that. It's just that it's the symbolic way of, if you have read poems and all, right, in your school in English, they use words like um, she was beautiful like a flower, as a flower, like as good as a flower, right? That means that she's like a flower. Doesn't mean that she's a flower, right? So these are the beautiful symbolizations that our poets, our acharyas have given because the love that Rama has for his people, his bhaktas, is so much. How do you express it? So it has to be expressed in some symbolic way so that you understand the deepness and the love, right? That's how you say it. So everything is a symbolization. This is something that always you should keep in mind. Okay. So back to the story. So what happens? Rama has come and Rama is saying to Anjaneya Swami, you give that king to me, he has to be punished. But what happens? That Anjaneya Swami, Hanuman, has promised that I will protect that particular king. So now Anjaneya Swami thinks for a minute. Rama is going to fire the arrow from this bow, but I have to protect this guy. And I can't stop or protect this guy from Rama's arrows. So what do I do? Anjay Swami thinks. And then he goes to the king who is all afraid and sitting like very in a belief that somehow Hanuman will protect him. So he goes to the king and Anjay Swami says in his ears that keep chanting Ramanama. Do nothing. Just keep chanting Ramanama. Say Rama, Rama, Rama. Keep chanting Ramanama. Everything will be automatically taken care. Now that king, he has no other go because Rama is ready with his arrows. So he has no other go. So he starts, as Hanuman said, he starts taking Rama, Rama. He says Rama, Rama, Rama. Now Rama fires the arrow. Okay. Rama fires the arrow. The arrow comes near to the king on whom the arrow is fired, right? It comes, but it doesn't hit him. Seeing him chanting the Ramanama, the arrow takes a U turn and it goes off. So, this is a story that usually elders say, where which signifies that Ramanama has more power and it's greater than even Rama himself. Because who fired the arrow? Rama. But did it hit the king? Why?
He
Because he was
chanted
chanting
Rama.
Rama, Rama, Rama. So sometimes, right, things doesn't happen the way you want it to. You will expect 50 out of 50 in the test, but you will get only 45. Some toppers will be still, upset that 45 out of 50 is not good enough. So you aim for 50, you wrote for 50, but you'll get only 45 or 40. So things always don't go as you wish. So sometimes you're like, I did so much hard work. I put all my efforts. I did my best, but why am I not getting the results? See, at the end of the day, it's karma. But when it's happening to you, when you're going through it, it is very difficult to accept that, right? You know that it's your karma, but while you're living that, obviously you will cry because you're experiencing sorrow, you're experiencing sadness. That's normal, that's human nature. Then who is the first person you blame? Whom do you blame? No one. Huh?
Mm.
First, we blame ourselves generally, then someone in the family, mummy or daddy. And if Krishna is very close to you, you blame Krishna. You tell him that because of you. See, I have worked so hard. Even then, you have not given me what I'm deserving. We know that he has always given the best. We are suffering because of our own karmas. But when you are experiencing that, it's a lot of thing to experience. You obviously cry, there's sadness. Everyone has to go through this. It's human nature. So you'll blame him, saying, "Why are you not giving me this?" Right? So it's okay to be. You sometimes we sweetly fight with our mother, sweetly fight with our father, with our sister or brother or siblings or friends. Similarly, it's okay to sweetly fight with Krishna. So it's okay to sweetly fight with him, but still you should never stop taking his nama. It's okay. It might be that you're a little bit angry with him, so you don't want to talk to him. That's okay, but still you should keep taking his name, because that is the one that's going to save it at the end of the day, right? That's the one that's going to save us at the end of the day. So you might be angry with him. You might be like have a little fight with him. So you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to meet him. That's okay. Krishna understands it. He understands that we are all little children, and we are facing difficulties because of our own karma. So he understands that, but never stop taking his name. Should always keep chanting his name and never ever leave his hand, whatever might be the difficulty in your life. However difficult it might be, it's okay to be angry on him, but never leave his hand and never stop taking his name. You can still take your name even if you're angry with him. See, at the end of the day, Rama fired the arrow, but Rama's arrow failed, What saved that king? Rama Nama saved that king. So always keep taking that nama. So why did I tell the story? Because most of the bhajans that we sing, no, it is nothing but just the name of Krishna, right? If you see this bhajan, Jaya Jaya Deva, Jaya Jagannatha, Jala Jalochana, Jaya Janardana, only names. What comes in Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam? The entire sentence is only Krishna's names. Achyuta, Keshava, Rama, Narayana. So these bhajans are nothing but just the names of him. So that's why it's called Nama Sankirtanam. Sankirtanam means singing, right? And Nama means his name. So that is what is called Nama Sankirtanam. Correct? Okay. So in the starting itself, I have said the story now. So I want people to sing some song or other. I want Danya to start. Which song will you sing? Say okay. Sing. Okay. Louder. Nice, loudly. See, Kritika, Satvik and all, they're not able to hear you. Nicely, loudly, can you sing? Mm. Parandhama Radha Ramana. Ah. हाँ, ससिवदना सरसिजनयना जगन्मोहन राधारमण. Very good. Okay, at the end, what you should sing? Radha Ramana, 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 Radha Ramana. Very good. Satvik, I think I asked you to sing this thing, no? Achyutam Keshav.
Yes, Mataji.
The previous, that can you sing?
Yes, Mataji.
Huh. Okay, very good.
Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishna Damodaram Vasudem Brahmarim Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallavam Janaki Ram
Nayakam. Janaki Nayakam.
Ramachandram Bhaje अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं माधवं श्रीधरं राधिका राधितं इन्दिरा मन्दिराशिरसा सुन्दरं देवकी नन्दनं नन्दजं सन्दे विष्णवे जिष्णवे शक्ति शक्ति रुक्मिणी रागिणी जाने जाने
हाँ
जाने
वल्लवी वल्लभायार्चितायात्मने
वल्लवी वल्लभाय चिन्तयत्मने विद्वांसिने दे नमः.
think na see the lyrics. Krishna Kansa Vidvansine Vanshine Te Nama. हाँ see and sing.
कृष्ण गोविंद हे राम नारायण श्रीपदा वासुदेव जीता सिंधि अच्युतनु हे माधव दोषज द्वारिका नायका द्वापति रक्षक.
Very good. Okay. Next class, can you practice next 4 stanzas? I'll send
Yes,
recording.
mother.
Okay, I'll send recording. Jay Dev also I'll send recording. From that you can practice. Okay.
Mataji,
हाँ
I want to sing one more. Can I?
हाँ sing.
आत्मा रामानंद रमन अच्युत केशव हरि नारायण अच्युत केशव हरि नारायण भव भय हरण वंदित चरण भव भय हरण वंदित चरण रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन आदि नारायण अनंत शयन सच्चिदानंद श्री सत्यनारायण सच्चिदानंद श्री सत्यनारायण.
Okay, you have to finish with Atma Ramananda Ramana Achyuta Keshava
नारायण.
Satvik, one more thing, Kana. You're singing very fast. All the bhajans, right? You sing fast. So slow down a little bit so that you are able to enjoy the namas and the others who are listening also they can enjoy. So slow down a little bit, okay? For all the bhajans that you sing. Okay? Okay, it's been a long time since I have heard Gaurav singing. So any
Yes,
songs, Gaurav? Yeah.
I want to sing He Mataji Mat. He Madhava Mataji.
Okay.
हे माधवा हे मधुसूदना हे माधवा हे मधुसूदना दामोदरा हे मुरलीधरा दामोदरा हे मुरलीधरा हे माधवा हे मधुसूदना मनमोहना हे यदुनंदना दीनावना भव भयवञ्चना दीनावना भव भयवञ्चना.
Okay, very good. Next class, can you sing some other difficult song for me? Ramanama Vembo, next class, can you try? It's been a while. Recording should be there. You can listen previous classes recordings. No, in that it will be there. You can try. Okay, Kanna. I'm saying because you couple of students, right? You people are attending regularly. It will be nice. I'll feel really good if you can learn some 10 to 15 bhajans from me. And if you can even learn 50% of Ramayana and you remember the stories, right? Then it is an achievement for me that I have taught some Bhagavad Kathas to some children. So that would be a achievement for me. It's really nice. See, when joining, right? I think in the first class or something, some 15-20 students were there. Okay. But today there are only 5 to 6 students who are attending class regularly. So it's not everyone are generally not able to withstand that, pressure of learning or staying with the teacher. So why I'm saying is to listen to Bhagavad Kathas and to learn shlokas and to learn the bhajans also, you need some bhakyam, right? You need that bhakyam, you need that blessings from the acharyas, you need that blessings from Krishna to be able to listen about him. You need that blessings from Krishna to be able to sing about him. So many acharyas have given us so many things to learn and so many teachings. So you're singing Adi Shankaracharya's Achyutam Keshav. See, Adi Shankaracharya was born and he blessed the earth with I think somewhere around 1100 AD or something. If I'm not wrong, maybe you can Google. Google will say the perfect answer. So, how many years that is? Like some thousands of years ago, right? And today, sitting in various cities inside the house, you're able to sing the song that he has dedicated to Krishna. Just imagine you're singing Adi Shankaracharya's Achyutam Keshav. So it's not possible without Krishna blessing you and the acharyas blessing you. See, just imagine there are crores of people in the world. Everyone follows their own religion, right? Even in your school, there are people who are Christians, there are people who are Muslims, there are people who are Sikhs, there are people who are Buddhists. Okay, so it's okay. Parabrahmam is always one, right? Parabrahmam is always one. We see him as Krishna, someone else sees him in some other way, or someone else sees her in some other way. Some people see as her, some people see as Shiva, some people see as Krishna, some people see as Devi. So that is okay. Now, but there are n number of people who don't understand the concept of Parabrahmam at all. All they know is to like eat, sleep, earn money so that they can buy some food and get some food, they can eat, they can build a house, they can get some clothes. That's all their entire life is about, right? Some people, when they have more money than expected, what they do, they spend it in movies, like going out, spending. That's not a bad thing to do, but that's all they do. See, what is the difference between a lion, a tiger, an elephant, an insect, and Kritika? What is the difference between all these? Huh? I. What is the difference between Danya and Red?
Animal,
Huh?
one animal have a particular habitat.
Correct. So animals don't have the sixth sense, right? Can elephant take Krishna Nama? Can elephant take Rama's Nama? No. See, you have come as a human being. There is something called as Shiva Puranam, right? Shiva Puranam is written. It's in Tamil. It's given by the Nayanmars. You can Google and get the lyrics of the Shiva Puranam. It's in Tamil. So it says, "Pullagi Pudagi." So you have taken so many births before you can be a human. மனிதராகி தேவராகி வல்ல சுரராகி செல்லாயித்தாவ சங்கமத்தில் எல்லா பிறப்பும் பிறந்திழைத்தேன் எம்பெருமானே. That செல்லாயித்தாவர சங்கமம், this world which has, this is the karma bhumi, right? You come here to experience things because that you have to experience because of your karma, right? In this world you have taken so many births and finally you get to have the human birth, and it is not sure that after human birth you're again going to get one more human birth or you're going to reach Krishna. That depends on what you do in this janma, right? So this cycle goes on and on and on and on. So you people are blessed to be human beings because you can take Krishna Nama, you can take Rama Nama, you can do Bhagavat Kainkaryam. What is Bhagavat Kainkaryam? To serve Krishna, to serve people. When you serve people, that's also serving Krishna. How come? Because Krishna sits in us. So this body is temporary. What is permanent? What is permanent?
Soul.
What is it called in Sanatana Dharma?
Atman.
Atman. Atman is what is permanent. And what is that Atman? It is
Soul.
Parabrahma.
it is Parabrahmam. That Atman is also Krishna. See, there is a section that comes in Vedam, right? It's called Purusha Suktam. That section of Vedam is called Purusha Suktam, and that talks about Krishna or the ultimate Paramapurusha or the Parabrahma. It's dedicated to Krishna most of the times. It says Atyadik Dashangulam, which means the Atman stays somewhere. That's what our Sanatana Dharma says. I don't think science has found it yet, or I don't know. That is world of science and world of Sanatana Dharma has a difference. So the Atman that stays inside us, inside that Atman sits that Paramatma. So Krishna can open the pillar and come as Narasimha. He can be present in an atom. He is present in every atom. He is present inside us. He is present everywhere. Right? So that's why it's called Vishnu. What is the meaning of Vishnu? I said it last class.
Everywhere. Vishnu means
Uh,
he's all over Lokam. Like Vishwam.
Anu means atom or
Mm.
smallest thing that can be there. You people are like still very young, so if you don't understand, do you understand what is an atom?
Yes, Mataji.
Very good. Atom means something. For example, Danya, see, this is a toy. If I pluck a hair from this toy, it's very small, right? That's similar to this. This hair is made up of multiple threads. So how small is a thread? Similar to that, the smallest thing in this world that is unbreakable is called an atom, Anu, right? Huh. So what is our township called? Anu Min Nilayam. We generate electricity from that Anu. That's why it's called Anu Min Nilayam. Anu means atom. So even in that smallest thing in the world, Krishna sits within that. Vishnu. That's why he's called Vishnu, right? So he's everywhere. He's within us also. So we are so lucky to be humans that we are able to take his name. We are able to serve other people, right? We are able to do Bhagavat Kaikaryam. We are able to serve Krishna. So this human form is an opportunity for us to, you know, make a better version of ourselves. Also help others to have a better life and be a better version of themselves. We have an opportunity to look beyond this physical body. See, even a lion or a tiger, no, it hunts for its food. It makes a territory, which is like your home. The way you have a home, the lion has a territory. If some other lion enters, lion A enters lion B's territory, no, then lion B will fight with it. And there's a huge fight, and lion A is pushed out. So similarly, if someone wants to occupy your home, will you let them occupy it? No. So searching for food, okay, earning for food, then having a home, having a dress, all these things even animals do. Then what is the difference between us and animals? We have the opportunity to serve others. We have the opportunity to do Bhagavad Kaikaryam. We have the very big opportunity to take his name, right? We have the opportunity to say Krishna. We have the opportunity to say Rama, right? So someone else belonging to some other religion says some other name. For example, if you see Sikhs, they take Guru Nanak's name. So however, how in whichever form you take his name, see, you have been born as a Hindu. You have been born in Sanatana Dharma. So it's your dharma to look at him as Krishna, Rama, Shiva, or Ambal or Devi. So similarly, someone else born in some other religion, it's their dharma to look at them as however their ancestors or acharyas have suggested, right? So now we have this opportunity to say Rama, you have this opportunity to say Krishna, which you should make use of. Because everyone doesn't get this opportunity to listen. Why? Okay. Why I'm saying all these? Because I feel like it's not like I feel. It's true that you children have been blessed so that you're able to listen to Krishna stories, you're able to listen to the culture and history of Sanatana Dharma. You're able to sing the bhajans that has been given to us as a big gift, like from our acharyas. So you people are lucky. So keep practicing at home. And even if you can't practice it, if you come to the class and say, Mataji, I'm not able to sing this bhajan, it's okay. But at least just attend the classes, because sometimes even if you forget the stories or forget the bhajans, if you're listening to it, at least this 1 hour every week, Ramanama, Krishna Nama is going into your head is important, and it is going to make a difference. And all the children are not blessed like you. So do attend the classes. Even if you have not practiced, it's okay. You can try to sing first two lines of the bhajans also. If you're trying to sing, I'll help you with the third line. So don't skip the classes, attend without fail. Okay, that's why I'm saying. Okay. Now, shall we learn a bhajan or look at a story? You tell me. Story or bhajan?
Story.
Story, okay. Rama Katha, Ramayana. Where did we stop, Kritika? You tell me.
That lady, that Rakshasi have two sons.
Name.
Name, didn't remember.
Subahu and Maricha.
Subahu and Maricha.
They are the sons of
Pandava.
Tataka. Okay. Rama asks Vishwamitra that is it okay to kill this woman, and Vishwamitra gives the explanation that you can't even consider her a woman. She's so terrific, she's so bad that she pulls out the baby fetus out of a mother's womb. A mother who is pregnant pulls out the baby fetus and she eats it. Is such a person, they are not even humanly, right? They're like demons who do such things without, they don't have karuna in their heart. Okay. So Vishwamitra says she's not even considered a human, so don't think about anything, just kill her. Just do the vadam. And Rama does the vadam of Tataka. Then they come to the ashrama. In ashrama, two people with a big army of demons, they come to fight. Who are those two people?
Subahu.
Tataka is already killed. Subahu and Maricha. They are the sons of, very good, Tataka. So now Rama and Lakshmana fight them, and who gets killed? Correct.
Subahu.
Subahu gets killed. Who escapes? Maricha escapes. That is much later, not now. So Maricha escapes and Subahu gets killed, and the Yagam completes successfully. It is a success. Now Vishwamitra is very happy. Now Vishwamitra got an invite from, he has gotten an invite for lunch. Sita's father, what's his name? What's Sita's father's name? Janaka. And you know where is Sita's motherland? Janaka's, the place where he ruled. It's in the parts of Nepal and Bihar. Right? That is the land where Sita comes from. So Janaka invites Vishwamitra to Mithila for a lunch. I'm saying he just invites, okay? Because you know these big people like kings and people and all that, they keep doing yagams and all these things so that it's for lokakshemam, so that their people can live well happily, and they also keep inviting these rishis so that they get their blessings, and they treat the rishis well, give them a lot of food and a lot of donations and all that they do. So Janaka has invited Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra is very happy with Rama and Lakshmana. Why? Yeah, and Yajna happened successfully, right? So Vishwamitra is very happy. So Vishwamitra says to Rama and Lakshmana that I have got the invitation from Janaka. We are going to Mithila. I will take both of you with me. Like that, Vishwamitra says to Rama and Lakshmana, and then they go to Mithila, right? So on the way to Mithila, they are about to reach Mithila. They enter the land of Mithila, which is ruled by Janaka, and the land is extremely beautiful. Like how beautiful a place looks in spring. Similar to that, the land is extremely beautiful. All flowers and very full of cultivational lands, and everyone happy and well flourished place. Why do you think it is a well flourished place? Two reasons. What do you think? Why? Tell Kritika. Hey, Gauna and Karthik, video, can you put it on? What happened?
Sita is born from earth. That
Very good. One reason is the land on which Sita or Janaki Why is she called Janaki? Sita is called Janaki. Why? Janaka is her father's name. Janaka's daughter is Janaki. Okay. So Sita is also called Janaki. Very good. Now the land on which Sita, who is Mahalakshmi herself, is born, and the place where she lives, won't that land be the most flourished place on earth? She is the one who's responsible for all the flourishing things that we have, right? So, mm, because it's the land of Mahalakshmi, the land is so beautiful and people are so happy. One reason. Second reason, generally, if a place is ruled by a king, how do I say? For example, in today's times, if a certain district is ruled by a MLA, ruled by a king, and the king rules properly according to Dharma, and always thinks about, wishes well about his people, his praja. Praja means people. Sanskritam praja means people. So Prajapati means the man of the
Lord of
prajas, people. That's why we call Prajapati. Sometimes kings are called Prajapatis, right? Daksha Prajapati was one king. He was the father of Daksha Prajapati was the father of something. Do you remember? Sati Mata's father. Sati Mata's father name is Daksha Prajapati. Prajapati means he that is a post. He's like a king. The man of Praja, the man of people. The person who governs the people is called Prajapati. So similarly, Daksha Prajapati was Sati's father. Okay, so whenever a king rules properly according to Dharma, right? In that case, generally people live very well. So if everything in the land happens according to Dharma, people pay their taxes properly. There's no corruption, and everyone gets to earn money in a proper way. So because everyone has money, everyone has house for themselves. Everyone has clothes. Everyone has food. So everyone has bhakti at home. So uh, when you have a proper leader, proper king, see the leader should set the example. He should be a mentor for all the juniors, right? So when he is good, everything else is good. So Janaka was someone who ruled with properly, ruled according to Dharma. Otherwise, will Sita come as daughter to Janaka? No. Mahalakshmi, Tayar, will choose that man who walks on the path of Dharma only. Otherwise, will she choose him as her father? So Janaka was a very nice king. He ruled according to Dharma, and Sita herself was born in that land. So the land flourished with beauty and flowers and all that. So Rama enters, and once he enters, he was just awestruck with the beauty of the land. But just a little bit before the city entry point, Janaka's Mithila entry point, right? Just a little before that, they come to a place which is an abandoned place. Do you understand what is meant by abandoned place?
Like
closed
haunted.
city means no one
Very
will
good.
live in it.
Very good. It's no one is living there. It's empty. Something like that, right? So the abandoned place. Now there is a big stone there, and no one else is there. Rama just walks close to the stone, and his feet touches that stone, and that stone gets converted into a woman. Her name is Ahalya, right? So in Valmiki Ramayanam, right? Again, this is a form of poetry. It is described this way. So generally, when someone is very sad, not doing anything, sits in a place and very moody and is not doing any work and very dull, you just say he's like a stone man. He's not moving at all. He's not doing any work. He's not active, right? Similarly, there was a woman in the abandoned house. No one was living with her, and she was very dull, and she has lost almost everything in life, and she was like a stone. And Rama goes to that place, and immediately she gets enlightened, right? Because Rama's presence itself is, see, imagine Parabrahmam is standing besides you. how that is. So this Ahalya has a story. There is a rishi called as Gautama, right? And this Ahalya should be extremely beautiful, right? And this Ahalya is the wife of the rishi Gautama. Now they got married and they are living a nice life. Ahalya likes her husband Gautama. Gautama likes Ahalya. Gautama and Ahalya are living a beautiful life. They are married, settled down, and they are living. Now, one day, what happens? This Indra Deva. Who is Indra? Is one of the.
He is the leader of Svargaloka.
Very good. He's the leader of Devas. So, but it doesn't mean that he's a very good character or not. His job is that he's a leader of Devas. Okay. And he does his duty well, gives proper rain and all that he does. But what happens now? One day, while coming to the earth, like visiting the earth, right? He sees Ahalya, who is extremely beautiful, who is also the wife of Gautama. But still, he falls for Ahalya. Indra thinks that, oh God, this woman is so beautiful. She should be my wife. How can she be someone else's wife? Though he knows that Ahalya is already Gautama's wife. So thinking something like this about someone else's wife is very wrong, isn't it? Right? So our Sanatana Dharma says that apart from your own wife, anyone else, the man should look at them as mother. That's why you call Mataji. So in all the Krishna Bhaktas, if you go in satsangs, you call everyone Mataji, Mataji. Why Mataji? Mataji means mother. So everyone, apart from your own wife, whom you have taken as wives according to your dharma, according to the marriage samskara in Sanatana Dharma, except for them, everyone else is your mother. That's what our Sanatana Dharma says. Right? Similarly, for women, except for your husband, whomever you have taken according to dharma, as per the samskara as marriage as your husband, every other man is like your father. So this is what our Sanatana Dharma says. Now, this Indra, he falls for Ahalya's beauty and he thinks that this Ahalya is so beautiful. How can she be Gautama's wife? She should be my wife, right? So what he does, he very crookedly changes himself to look like Gautama. Sometimes if you go to internet and you search now, people will do certain haircuts and keep certain wear certain dresses and they try to look like actors, like say similar to actor Vijay, actor Ajit or whatever, actor Shah Rukh Khan. And if you see at once, no, they look like exact photocopy of that actor. There are so many people like that. They are mad over them. They want to become like those actors. They lose their uniqueness. So similarly, what this Indra did, he changed himself, like decorated himself, same as Gautama, and he went in front of Ahalya. Now he looks exactly like Gautama. Ahalya, for when he looked at him, she didn't know that it's not Gautama, it's Indra. She didn't know it, right? Because Indra has changed himself like Gautama. Right. So when Indra came dressed up like Gautama, initially Ahalya didn't recognize it. Then Ahalya welcomes her husband home and she lives with her husband, thinking that he is Gautama. But after a while, Ahalya finds out somehow that, see, if you know, if Danya has a best friend, right? Someone else dresses up like Danya and they go to your best friend and say, I am Danya, your best friend believe it. Initially, based on the looks, she might. But your best friend knows how Danya talks, how Danya behaves. She knows that Danya doesn't like this, but Danya doesn't like broccoli. Danya likes only potato. She knows, right? So if someone dresses up as Danya and goes and eats broccoli, your friend will be stunned or not. She'll find out that Kritika doesn't like broccoli. How come she's eating it? So somehow, when you live with that person, you get to know that something is suspicious. So similarly, Ahalya found out that something is wrong. This person is not Gautama. But Gautama, who is her original husband, he was away for the meditation into the forest and he was in bhakti, so he was not returning home. So Ahalya, because of her loneliness and all that, she, even after knowing that the person who is dressed up like Gautama is actually not Gautama, she stays with him, which is a wrong thing, right? She does. Then one day, what happens? Gautama returns home, and when he returns home, he sees someone dressed up exactly like him with Ahalya. He gets very angry and he punishes Indra that you lose all your beauty, all your handsomeness you lose, and he punishes Ahalya that you become a stone, which means like he left Ahalya and he went away, and you'll become a stone means without any emotions, happiness, you'll just be abandoned. That's all. And she was abandoned, right? Now Rama came and Rama relieved her of the strapa and she became well again. She became better again, and she was blessed. She asked for forgiveness to Rama because she knows that she has made a mistake, right? So she asked for forgiveness. When you realize you have made some mistake and you ask for forgiveness, sometimes people who have a very crooked mind may not forgive you, but Krishna, his Karunakara, always have karuna, has karuna in his heart, and when with wholeheartedly when you do sharanagati, Krishna always forgives you. Wholeheartedly you should do. You should not do a drama. Wholeheartedly, when you realize it's your mistake and you ask for forgiveness and you do sharanagati to him, then he takes care of you. Then he forgives you. It's like, say you fight with your mother a lot, but you are her baby at the end of the day. You're crying and you all the way crying, go to the kitchen and say, Mama, I'm sorry. Then Mama just forgets all that happened and she hugs you, doesn't she? Similarly, we are all Krishna's babies, and when wholeheartedly he just tries to teach us a lesson when we are wrong, but wholeheartedly when we go for forgiveness and do Sharanagati to him, then he accepts this and he forgives us. So Rama forgives Ahilya, and from the shrapa that she has got from Gautama that you will become a stone. So she is relieved from the shrapa. So someone, when they're forgiven, right, you have a lot of a heavy heart. So that becomes light. You forget what all has happened and you start the life newly. Similarly, Ahalya is relieved from all the shrapas and she starts her life newly. So this is what happens on the way to Mithila. In just another 300, 400 meters, Mithila is going to come. Just before Mithila, in the forest, this has happened. So this happened, and Ahalya was relieved of her shrapam, and Rama, Lakshmana, and Vishwamitra proceed, and they are entering the city, the kingdom of Mithila. So what happens in the kingdom of Mithila, that we'll see in the next class. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji,
Huh.
in next class, can you tell about Kaliga ending?
About what?
Kaliga ending.
Kali Yuga ending, huh? Kalki Avataram. See, we have not finished Rama Avataram. After Rama, there's Balrama, Krishna, and then Kalki will come. Right? Okay, fine. I'll tell you. Okay?
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Kada. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.